if there's anyone in your team, hi, Miss Amy, that you're thinking about, like, oh, I really want them to hop on and learn a little bit more, just message someone, like a little nudge, like, hop on. We've got all kinds of stuff to kind of share with you. And if not, the recording will be available. I want to go through and just do a little bit of recognition and just a little bit of dreamer badassery that's like happening right now in our team, because it's so fun and there's so much excitement. Go through a few announcements and then get into our nitty-gritty team call. So Jenny Thompson, who promoted Kimberly, not only to helping her get her Fast in 5 for Fiji, an extra $200 with 5 enrollments, but also the 5-cycle bonus. Like, amazing leadership there. Kari continued to earn money in the manager pools. You guys are going to see me post that. Alicia has been enrolling like every single week for the last like few weeks. She's so fired up. If you guys didn't have a chance to watch the coffee chat with Alex, she nailed it with some awesome tips for mamas who are in quarantine and trying to build this business. I could literally go on and on with so many people here, but I definitely want to acknowledge Kisa Maxwell. She is my first builder. She was the first person to run with me, and her business is exploding. And every time I open up Isopulse, I'm like, thank goodness she's paying attention, because this is so many people. And with her flyers and her gifts to her team and her challenges, it is such an honor to run with you. And I'm so grateful for your leadership. And I'm so proud of Jules and Jenny and Kimberly and Amy and Marla, and the list just goes on and on. So with that being said, and I'm not trying to cut anybody short, it's just fun, and it's really fun again. A few announcements for you guys. The New and You bundle came out. If you guys don't know what that is, it's the Mango Mimosa Via with the Amp Nitro in packs. The new Oat Bites, which is like the gluten-free slim cakes that came out, so we're a totally gluten-free company now, and the Zia Super Mix. So everybody's like, what is it? I'm like, I haven't even had it yet. I was like trying to learn as fast as you guys can. There's a lot of information in Dreamers. You might want to check it out, you know, but it is plant-based. It's full of antioxidants. It tastes amazing. Apparently, I'm waiting for mine to come. I keep like looking, you know. It is not to replace Ionics or the greens. It's like totally different. But the only way you can get it is in the bundle. Now, here's a little tip I'm going to share with you, okay? Remember, there's a deadline coming up, right? Everybody's trying to get their like Fast in 5 for Fiji. There's an extra $200, or trying to create consultants to go Crystal Director. No, Melanie, the greens is still here. The original is gone. Now it's just the organic greens for the super mix. Be smart about this, okay? So if your account is at 100 BV, this is a great time to enroll a family member, right? Even if it's shipped and billed to you. So Preston is back from Arizona. That's Ryan's son. And I was like, hey, you're 20. I'm going to definitely get that new bundle through you, right? Like, it didn't need to go through my account. So it's like shipped and billed to me, but that's a new wholesale account. I want you guys to be smart about that. So if you have customers that want to try the new bundle, like, that's a great time for them to enroll a spouse. You know, it's a great time for them to enroll a child if they're trying new things, and just to remind you guys about that. Crystal Director deadline is May 17th. So for those of you going for that extra $750 bonus, it is right around the corner. Be checking your back office and the updates for the summer cooler program. If you guys remember that, in certain states, like if you have to pay more for the ice packs so your ice delights don't melt in the bars, just make sure that your ice delivery is there, and you know, you stock up or whatever if you don't want to pay for the extra delivery, if that makes sense. And with that being said, I'm going to get right into the team call. And thank you, Chris, for stepping up as team dad for Mel and explaining all the green stuff in the Zia. I super appreciate it. I love when the chat just runs and I can keep talking. We have such a good system here. So the first thing too, the Mother's Day promo, and if Kisa or Rach or someone wants to type in exactly what that is with the Mother's Day promo, but this is a great time for our customers to spoil their moms, educate them about some products we have, and there is an incentive there. But I also learned this morning on our Work It call, and if you guys don't know about that, every Mondays at noon Mountain Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9 a.m., we hop on for an hour and we get to work. Like, we literally, like today we were messaging people, following up with people. There's no training, it's just accountability, and we get to work. But I was informed that it's Teacher Appreciation Week and Nurses Appreciation Week. So that's amazing. And this is an incredible time to put a bundle together, go do some, you know, drop off little gift baskets, goodie baskets, pouring into the nurses, the teachers in our life, and of course, introducing them to Isogenics. I also, side note, a friend of mine who daughter has this little birthday cake business. Like she's like setting up, or not birthday cake, birthday signs for all these like drive-by, birthdays with quarantine. And long story short, it prompted her that with all of her friends that at least she can drive to close in proximity, she's like dropping by and in their mailbox putting a packet of birthday cake shake with a card. Like, what a clever idea to like share, one of our products and pour some love on people. So I wanted to just make sure I shared that with you guys. So those are the little promos. Those are the holidays or the focuses for this week, just for ways for you to get creative. The majority of our call tonight, we're going to be talking about just getting people to take a look and some things that I learned from ISA Academy around pre-framing. And then I'm going to end with some stuff from one of my absolute favorite books. But before we get into that, because this is the number one question everybody's asking me, is like, hey, you hate the 9-day. Why are you promoting another 11-day shred? Or like, I thought we were supposed to do the 30 days. Why are we doing all of these 5-day detoxes? And can I enroll someone to start on a bedtime belly buster? And I thought it would be a great time to just cover it on the team call, because I know it can be really, really confusing. Here's what I'm going to tell you, what I love the most, and I'm going to tell you about where we meet the customer where they are at, okay? I hate the 9-day. I think it works, but getting someone started on it, not only does it have the lowest retention, people always order less in future months, right? So they're never going to be able to maintain their active accounts typically. If you get someone started that way, this is just the company data, but it's quite expensive. Over the 11 days, if you really do the math on what they're getting, it's not the best way to set someone up. Plus, they don't have any of the tools, right? There's no ISO delights in there. There's no peanut butter bites. There's no bone broth. And by the time you're adding things on to set them up for success, it's not necessarily the best price point, okay? However, when people want to do a quick transformation, it works. We all have done it. We all know the results of a 2-day cleanse compared to a single cleanse, right? We all know what it's like when you're laser focused. If not, look up Jules' transformation on our pages. So I will tell people, like, we are doing the 11-day, but I encourage you to get started with one of our foundational packs. And I'm still leading with a 30-day. In my verbiage, I will say things like, when you price this out daily, the other ones are ripoff. It doesn't include the happy shot, the happy juice that we're a fan of, that I want you to have. It doesn't include the peanut butter bites that are appetite suppressants and are going to help you get through your cleanse days. Plus, I want you to maintain these results, right? So after that second set of double cleanses, I want you to be able to continue with the shakes and ionics to not undo all this hard work. So I definitely love the 11-day structure to get a great physical transformation. But I use that marketing of the 11-day shred, right, or that excitement, and still try to lead with a bigger system, okay? Because I do think it's a better value, and I do obviously want our team to get paid. There is no double PIB on a 9-day, right? There's single, there's not the double. And if people are getting people onboarded, I want them to get those double PIBs. Now, that being said, people are not working right now, right? I mean, the millions and millions of people out of work. And I mean, I was talking to a girl yesterday and she's like, there's absolutely no way I can spend that much money on a system. Like, she wanted to do the value pack and she said, this is what I can have. This is what I can spend before my husband like absolutely annihilates me. It was $150. So we did the everyday health pack, and it's okay. I'm going to help her get her products paid for. I'm going to help her bring in some extra money. But we're meeting people where they're at. And so that brings me to the 5-day detox. Mel was so cute earlier. She was messaging me and she's like, get me up to speed. I've been out of it. Like, what's happening on this 5-day detox? And it is leading with one of those smaller packs, like the everyday shake pack or the everyday health pack or the shake and cleanse pack. And what we're trying to do is say for a week, right? For 5 days, cut out the garbage. Don't drink, don't eat bonbons, don't put the night, ice cream in your belly type of thing. In addition to doing 2 shakes a day, nourishing your body, doing 1 shot of happy juice, getting the ionics in your body for stress and mental clarity, and doing nightly cleanse, just allowing the Cleanse for Life to work by gently removing impurities while you sleep, no fasting days, no harsh diets, like all that stuff, right? And what's awesome about it is it meets people at a price point. it meets them at an emotional standpoint that they go, I can do that right now. Like, people are overwhelmed. It's hard to like homeschool and work full time and all of these things, but it also gets them invited into our culture. They see our community. And if you guys coach these effectively, they will learn about other products. They're going to see our community. They're going to see our recipes. So the group that I led with Alicia and Alex and Ashley, and I'm totally forgetting somebody that was in there, it was fun because we had some past customers get really, really excited and some new customers, but it was like, hey, we're doing a shake, and we shared the benefits of the shake, and everybody was posting their recipes, right? We talked about how we felt by doing the nightly cleanse. In there, we talked about protein recipes, right? We talked about the whey-thins. We shared the chicken whey-thin recipe, and it gets people excited, and they see that those people reordered. They didn't have to do a full 30-day to then learn about the new and you bundle. And I want you to just remember that we're in an unfamiliar time. We're in an uncertain time. And as we would love to lead with value packs left and right, it's not always realistic. And so that's going to lead me up to the bedtime belly buster. For the most part, the BBB is amazing for customers who have hit a plateau, right? They've done a 30-day, or maybe they've been on the programs for 60 days and they're stuck. And we're trying to increase protein, right? Trying to burn a little extra fat and build muscle while they sleep. So I had a couple people today that saw my post and said, can I get someone new on the bedtime belly buster? And I want to show you some verbiage and help you with this. I had many people reach out to me because of my own post and say, yeah, I want to do your bedtime belly buster. And I was honest with them. I said, this is something that we use in conjunction to our foundational nutrition. This isn't really where I love to start people. And honestly, if you're going to spend this much money, I don't think you're going to get the results you're looking for. And then we talked about the ways to do it. So that's how I ended up back at the 5-day detox, right? And doing something like the shake and cleanse pack, adding on the bedtime belly buster, but I was saying just doing a protein shake and taking a sleep support at night is not going to get this transformation. And everything we do with Isagenix falls into the fact that our food is bankrupt, our world is toxic, and we are stressed. So when I tell them why Isagenix was created and the science behind our products, I'm like, the bedtime belly buster doesn't address your stress necessarily. It'll help you sleep better. It doesn't address the toxicity in your bodies. It doesn't, address the cortisol that's keeping your belly fat. This is going to be a better way to get you started. Now, people are going to do what they want to do. And if they say, oh, I'm on a program, I do all kinds of stuff, I want to try it. Of course, it's them. They're deciding where they're spending their money. Support them, love on them, share the recipes with them, let them into our team page, maybe send them a sample of something else you love. But they're meant to be ways that get people excited, but we have to do our due diligence to educate that we're really setting them up for success. So if you guys saw, there was a conversation with me and a new girl on our page, and she's like, I want to do this. And I happen to know her. So I was like, didn't you just start? I'm like, hang tight. Like, just stay with your 30-day for a little bit. Let's talk about this later on, because it gets to be overwhelming. But I want you to know that as we're rolling out these ideas of 11-day shred or an 11-day quarantine detox and the 5-day resets and the bedtime belly buster, it doesn't replace the foundation of our 30 days, the foundation of the good, the better, the best, of really nourishing the body, detoxing at the cellular level, and managing the stress response. So even on the 5-day detox, those are the results we're achieving in just a really modified and affordable way. If you can educate someone to say, hey, do this with us, but still get them into a pack like a premium system and say, here's the format, but here's all these other tools in the tool shed. Here's some other snacking options for you to continue with. Awesome. People don't have to be pigeonholed into something. But I also don't want us to not do a good job as coaches if they're like, oh, give me the bedtime belly buster. And you're like, this is not going to work. You just told me you have 60 pounds to lose. The bedtime belly buster is not in your best interest. That person would do better on just 2 shakes a day and getting them on the everyday shake pack. But we have to really explain that. So I hope that makes sense. And if you guys are getting people interested in saying, like, I don't know how to convert them, or I don't know how to really educate them, this is where we've got to go back to the power of ATMs and 3-way calls and 3-way messages. And some of the new people are doing this so well, but some of our more seasoned dreamers that feel like I have to know everything, you don't. You don't at all, And it's okay if you need a refresher and want to plug in with someone, but the third-party validation is huge. So even though like I do know a lot of this and I train you guys, like I plug people in all the time. I have 2 brand new girls and I put Danielle in the messages over the weekend so she can see what I'm doing, right? Because I typically do them with Laura or Kisa or someone. And she was like, oh my gosh, and it was so natural. And I literally was like, hey, this and that. So we were going to coach her to consultant, right? But when someone's like, I want to do the bedtime belly buster, you can be like, yeah, I'm going to introduce you to my friend that's leading the challenge. I want to make sure I'm getting you the best results possible. And then plug them in with Rachel or me or Kisa or Alex or someone who's like really active right now, that they're getting the best information. And you're going to learn, those people are going to get like incredible belief and support and positivity and education. And then everybody gets results. And when people get results, then they become walking billboards. So I hope that that explains a little bit of how to take these different challenges and what we're doing with the customer best interest at heart, and then also the way you get paid. And just remembering those smaller packs, you're going to get single PIDs and it's smaller volume in your organization. So while they're great ways to bring people on, ultimately I'm still a fan of the 30-day, higher retention, better value, and definitely better pay for all of you. So when it comes to just getting people to take a look and reaching out, if anybody struggles with this, like what do I say to people? I think we all know if I put a post and people reach out, it's pretty easy to respond to them. But if you struggle with like, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to bring up the conversation, I would love for you guys to just kind of type in the chat. So I want you to see here that you're not alone. Maybe even like what it is that you have a fear around. Like, is it a fear that they're going to say no? Is it a fear that you don't know what to say? You know, is it a fear that they're going to judge you? Is it a fear they're going to unfriend you? Like, I want you to be real honest and kind of let me know here, because that's going to guide me on what I say. But the impetus for me to talk about this tonight was 2 things, okay? One of them was something that Tyler and Cindy trained on ISA Academy, which I'm not going to redo their training. I'm just going to talk about one piece of the pre-framing that I thought was awesome. But the second was a screenshot I saw last night. That's awesome, Jenny. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Casey. You guys read these 2 I'm reading as they come in. So my friend Crystal, who leads Women of Denver here in Denver, she put a screenshot up. It was basically like, what is RNF? Like, what is this and that? Like, you don't know me. Like, thank you for another person that made it easy to block. And it was everything we talk about what network marketers should not do. And I wrote to her, right? And I said, I'm so sorry. There's so many imposters, you know, in the industry that it really devalues the people that care about people and want to build relationships. I'm sorry that happened to you. And then she wrote me, she goes, the hard part is I know Rodan Fields and I like the company and I ordered from them. I was so put off. So the girl basically was like, hey, I don't think you know me, but RNF is having an amazing online party. I thought that I would invite you to it. And like Crystal's like, I have no idea who you are. Like, and what is RNF? Like, she didn't even educate, and she was like, did you get my message? Is there a reason why you're not responding to me? And she's like, I just want to know how you're doing in COVID right now. I mean, the whole thing is so, and part of me is like, I'm so proud of this young person who's reaching out, but like, come on, right? We can't be those people. And one of the things that Tyler and Cindy talked about on Saturday was pre-framing. And it came from this study, some wine study, that the music that was playing at the restaurant affected the purchases that they made. So if there was German music playing, they bought German wine. And if there was Italian music playing, I think it was Italian, they bought like Italian wine. And they didn't realize this was happening. And what's so awesome about being able to have this knowledge is we can use the pre-framing for them before we get on the call and for us. So you guys have heard me say about how like getting in a state, like going through your list of gratitude, you know, thinking about everything Isagenix has done for you, like just getting pumped up before you start messaging people, because part of it is your energy of what is putting out, right? Your energy around the entire thing. If you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, this person's gonna block me, this person's unfriending me, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm gonna send this, like they hate me, I'm in an MLM, I'm sounding like a salesy person. Non-verbally, all of that energy is going out, right? Where when you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe Paige made $1,600 this week. I want to help my next fitness friend be able to make that much money. Like, I'm fired up to share this with someone. Like, the energy that you're putting out is part of it. The second is getting them excited. And this was something that I've never considered. So Tyler was talking about how right before you get on a call, sending a quick video and saying, I just want you to watch this before we hop on the phone. And it doesn't have to be with Isagenix. It was something that was motivational, something that was inspiring, that they were open, that just got them exciting. And I was thinking, how many 30-second, 45-second videos are out there with like badass music, right? That just pump you up, that like athletes listen to before a game, or like people listen to before they give a speech. And I'm like, I cannot wait to send like something like that, and then be like, hey, like, how you doing? And just have them be like, what are we talking about? Because they're fired up and they're more open. But when it comes to reaching out, I honestly, and I'm reading all of these, you guys, that you're worried about being salesy, that you're worried what they're going to think of you, that you're worried about being pushy. And I can say this until I'm blue in the face, but you have to do it to overcome it. You have to get out of the comfort zone. This is where the growth is. And where the shift will happen is it will take one person. It will take one person that you changed their life because you reached out to them. Not because they saw a post you did, right? Not because they were referred to you. One person that you got out of your comfort zone and you reached out to them to share either the products of the business that has an amazing transformation or an amazing business story that thanks you, that will make you unstoppable and bulletproof because you understand the radical responsibility that you have. So I wish she was on the call right now, but Sarah, who's my person enrolled, who I've been working with, and she has this. She talked about it on our Fitness Pros call, right? She's like, what are people going to think of me? And I'm a sellout, and I'm in an MLM, and all this nonsense that's in her head. But she has a customer who's not working right now, right? Who's totally open to the opportunity. And all of a sudden she realized the influence that she can have in helping people. And it's like such a shift, right? It's such a shift when there's one person that says, because you reached out to me, you helped me lose 30 pounds. I'm so glad you reached out to me. I paid off my credit card bill. Like one of these stories. And until you're there, borrow other people's stories. Okay. So we've talked about pre-framing. We've talked about just the influence, the impact, the responsibility that you have. But when it comes to connecting, when it comes to reaching out to people, if you're worried about yourself, you're making it about yourself. And you've got to be so focused on what you can do for them, right? You've got to be focused on the gift that you give them and the way that you can share with them. And I was listening to Lisa DeMayo's How to Go Crystal executive call last week. If you guys have not listened to that, I highly, highly recommend it. And she said something that was very interesting. And it's awesome. Rachel and I are in a podcast accountability thread, and she got the same takeaway that I had. Part of this, and when who you're looking for, is the traits of the people that inspire you, that motivate you, that you're drawn to. Like if you're the captain of a football team and you're picking out your ideal running back and fullback and quarterback and everybody, you're looking for people that have skill, that have aptitude, that have traits that are magnetic, that are influential. So when I'm scrolling through Instagram, I can tell you I'm not reaching out to the people that have political stuff all over their wall, right? I'm not reaching out to people that are arguing left and right and bitching and negative Nancy's. I'm looking for the people that are optimistic. I'm looking for the people that when they post something, hundreds of people are engaging. So this is one way of who am I connecting with. The second, and this was the aha moment from Lisa DeMayo, is you're looking for people that have traits that you don't have. So let me put this into perspective. Laura and I are dynamically different. Everybody knows we're the yin and the yang, right? I'm like, just go do it. And Laura's like, well, I know she's a little fast paced, but let's talk about it differently, right? And like, that's awesome. If you look at Rachel and I, we are so different. And that's awesome. And so if I'm a red and I know that I'm money motivated and I'm goal oriented and I'm just like get her done type of personality, we can't have a team full of me's. Like that's not going to go well, you know? And I'm like, okay, so how do I find my blues? How do I find my whites, right? How do I find these personalities that are more loving, that are more analytical, that are more engineer based? And so part of that's on our product page. You can see the way people are asking questions, the people that want more information, but I'm looking for those people on social media, right? And like sometimes those are the people that are doing polls because they're literally curious. Like some people in our industry do it to get engagement, but some people literally are curious and they're wanting to know what people are doing. I'm like, okay, those are my whites. When I see in my neighborhood group, people that are the first ones to volunteer, the first ones that are helping, I'm like, okay, those are my blues. Those are not the traits I have. that I'm making these lists of people. So sometimes I'm drawn to them because they're influential. Sometimes I'm drawn to them, and this can be in real life too, right? It's not always online. Sometimes I'm drawn to them because they are lovers, they're carers, they're caregivers, they're educators, whatever that may be. But when you reach out to them, that is what you tell them. So if I could redo what the RNF girl did to Crystal, I'm not just going to message Amy and be like, oh my gosh, we have this wellness, Wednesday event here. You need to be on it. Our team is growing. You want to get in the tree now. Here's the link. Like, don't be that person. Please don't be that person. I've gotten a lot of invites right now for nail polish companies, for cleaning companies. I'm like, what? Why am I in these groups? And then I want to say thank you, so I'm going to prospect all your people. But I'm getting into all these things without them having a conversation with me. The better way to do it is I'm like, hey, Amy, how are you? Right? And like the ping pong ball comes back and forth. I'm good. How are you? I don't know how we're connected. We have a lot of mutual friends, right? Yeah, I know. I don't know how we're connected either. Like you guys have probably done this, right? You see people in your feed. How do I know them? Ask questions. You have to become a master question asker because you're looking for a source of pain that you can introduce a solution. So I'll say things like, how was your weekend, right? Like, how are you doing with all this? How is your family doing? Are you in an industry that was affected? Like, how are you doing with cooking 3 meals a day? Are you someone who's doing online grocery ordering, or are you actually going into the grocery store? Like, get to know people the same way if you were having coffee, right? Or when we get out of this whole quarantine mess and can talk to people again, like, honestly ask the questions. And then you are saying, well, I don't know if you've seen what I've been up to. I don't know if you know what I do, but if you're open to taking a look, I think you'd be interested. We've seen a lot of people just like you. And then you're answering what it is that they said. So let's say that it's someone I actually know, right? Like Kim and I are friends. We've been friends on Facebook for a while. She likes things. I like things. She posts about her kids. She likes my protein ball recipes, but we really never talked about it. So if this is someone I know, I might be a little bit more direct, right? And I'd be like, hey, girlfriend, how are you? How was your weekend? She'd write back a little bit. And I would probably voice memo her. I want her to hear my passion. I want her to hear my excitement, but I would say, I know that I've been doing isogenics, or I know I have a home-based business, or maybe you don't know that I do this, right? Like if for someone that's brand new, maybe you don't know what I'm up to, right? For me, obviously they know what I'm doing. Laura, they know what they're doing. Kisa, if you're brand new, you can say, I'm not sure if you know what I'm up to, but I've been needing to reach out to you. Our team is growing right now because of the current climate, and I kept thinking about you. Not only because I know the industry you're in has been negatively affected, but you have incredible traits for the people that I personally want to partner with. Your heart of service is amazing. Your work ethic is unparalleled. And if you've been open to having a chat, I'd love to just share it with you. It may or may not be for you, but I wanted to reach out to you. It's keeping me up at night not talking to you, right? I wanted to reach out to you because I wouldn't sleep if I didn't tell you about it. There's going to be a ton of people that are like, oh, I don't want anything to do with your MLM. Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Thanks, no, thank you. Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. Like you planted the seed. At some point, they might come back to you, right? However, by doing this, there will be someone that says, I can't believe you just reached out to me. I've been wanting to reach out to you. By consistently doing this, you will find someone that says, I can't believe you just reached out to me. I was furloughed last week. I was just laid off last week. I've been looking for a network marketing company. But the growth in the comfort zone that you have to get out of is doing the reach outs. And I can tell you all day long that you're not pushing people unless that's what you're doing. So if you're worried about that, don't do that. And what that means is if they say no, you can say, I'm just curious, like why, or what is it that you've heard that you're not interested? You can ask a little bit and get information. But unless you're like, oh my gosh, why you need to join my team right now? Like I've always supported everything that you've done. I can't believe you're not supporting me right now. Or, well, you want to get into my team because I'm enrolling a chiropractor and I could put 100 people below you, or I'm going to pay for your shipping if you do this, and I'll buy you this and I'll buy you that if you join my team because my team's the best. Like if you're being an asshole, sorry, you're right. You're being pushy and you're being salesy. But imagine if you had not heard about Isogenics. Imagine if someone hadn't reached out to you. Right? Like what in the heck has Isogenics done for you because somebody reached out to you? And that's the place you have to come from. Like I'm messaging more people daily right now than I have since 2013, because I think if I was a personal trainer, I would be up Schitt's Creek and not the show, right? Like I would have a serious problem. And I'm like, I'm not the only person. And it's amazing when people get on the phone with you and they learn about our products. People think it's something different. They really don't know what this is. Like, I enrolled 3 girls last night. All of them were shocked when I told them they could eat other food. They were like, so I'm just drinking these shakes for like a month? And I was like, what? Because it came from that tester's post. The tester's post where I said, if you could drink 2 shakes a day and blah, blah, blah. Like, they literally thought they were just eating isogenics. I was like dying on the phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, no. Like, I'm drinking a glass of wine while I'm on the phone with you. I promise you're going to eat more than isogenics. But people don't know. And so it's so easy for us to assume what they're thinking, right? Or what they're going to think of us. But you have to remember why isogenics is in your life, what it's done for you physically, what it's done for you emotionally, financially, and come from that place. And the analogy, the story that I've talked about over and over and over, I love when Rachel's on here and I can bring it up, is she loves Indian food and I hate it. I think it's disgusting. And, you know, when she worked at Denver Health and if she said, hey, come down, like, let's go to lunch, awesome. If it was Indian, like, no, I'm taking my shake, right? It had nothing to do with me not wanting to see my sister. I don't want to eat Indian food, right? She's never going to convince me to eat it. And for anybody who's offended right now, it has nothing to do with the culture. I don't like curry, okay? It's that simple. There are people that don't ever want to drink a shake. There are people that don't want to make extra money. There are people that, for whatever reason, don't ever want to be a part of a direct selling company or they're not educated about it. Don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. It's the Indian food analogy, right? It had nothing to do with me out wanting to see my sister. I don't like curry. I don't want to eat it, you know? But the process is of going through this, you're finding the people that are looking for you. You're finding the people that are praying for you. You're finding the people that are absolutely open and ready, okay? So I really want to encourage you guys, reach out to me if you need me to pour belief into you. Reach out to Laura, like reach out to Kisa, just say something like, I want to message this person, but I'm scared shitless, right? Let us like really pour some belief into you. Let us get you fired up. Let us help you come up with the verbiage so you don't verbal vomit on them. And just always remember that if you are making it about you, you are making it about you. And this is a service-oriented business. Focus on other people. Focus on what you can do for them. Like, I keep talking about Jenny right now because her business is growing and I'm watching her get out of her comfort zone. You guys have no idea how many times Kisa and I have tried to push her to share the business and share the business and share the opportunity, right? She's like, oh, they're just customers and blah, 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 blah. But there's a shift, and not only because of how it's affecting her, but she knows what she can do for other people. If you guys have been on the call today with this woman who started very skeptic and she opened up, and our heart totally changed through the 30 minutes we were on the phone. But here's what the eye-opener was. We asked her, what is the nagging bill? What is keeping you up at night? What is causing you stress first thing in the morning, right? And she told us, and we said, let us show you how to get that paid for, right? Like Jenny, in terms of fire to go find more people that she can help make a car payment, like she's going to stay up way later tonight than she thought, because it gives you an impact of influence of what you're doing that's making a difference in someone's lives. We're not selling snake oil, right? We're not giving someone something that they don't need and trying to make money off of them. Everything Isogenics offers, from our culture to the nutrition to the compensation, will change a life, but they have to be able to see it. They have to see your heart, right? And so I just challenge you guys to make your list, right? A lot of you need to remake your list. Who are 10 people that are incredibly badass, that are influential, right? That are fun, that are networks, that could be the next Susan Sly or Lisa DeMeo and could blow up your organization? And who are 10 people that are nothing like you, but you want the yin and the yang, you want a well-balanced team, you want all the different colors? And just reach out to them and say, like, I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you've seen what I've been up to, but I wanted to invite you to take a look. You enlist all their qualities. You have such a heart of service. I always see that you're the first person to volunteer in our neighborhood and offer someone to help. I'm looking for compassionate people on our team. This may or may not be for you, but I'd love to chat with you about it and just see, right? Like, just tee it up and then lean on people for third-party validation. So I am going to leave you with the 4 agreements. Some of you have read this, some of you have not. If you've not read it, read it. You can read it tonight. It's a very short book. If you don't want to read it, just print off the image and put it somewhere that it is in, like, the forefront of your mind. Eric Coover gave this book to me when I first started Isogenics. I can't tell you how many times I've read it, a lot, and I talk about it a lot. And it is so important with this business, okay? So if you're unfamiliar with the 4 agreements, the first one is to be impeccable with your word. The second one is to don't make assumptions. The third one is to don't take anything personally. And the fourth one is to always do your best. If you make these agreements to yourself and to your team, it will change everything. But often we break one of them. So when we talk about being impeccable with your word, let's start with sharing the compensation plan. If I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody in our team makes 6 figures, you're gonna make a ton of money in the next 3 months, you're gonna be the next 6-figure income earner, and that person makes $54 in the next couple weeks, they're never gonna trust you, never. Because you were dishonest to them and you painted a really deceitful picture. If you say things like, you know what, our compensation plan creates an incredible opportunity. There's a lot of people on our team that get their products paid for that make, you know, 100 or 200 bucks a month, and the sky's the limit. We know people that make $20,000 or $30,000 a week. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how hard you work and how hard you develop a team, but I'm going to be here every step of the way on whatever it is, right? Then they're excited if they get their products paid for and they know what's possible. If you tell someone that you're going to get on a team call, get on the team call. If you tell someone you're going to do a 3-way call, do the 3-way call. You want to know the worst thing you can do, unless it's like an emergency, is cancel on your prospect, right? Like if you have a call set and suddenly you are, you know, have a friend over or you are day drinking or whatever, and you're like, push that call. Can we actually talk tomorrow? You know what? You're not this serious about it. They're not that serious about it. You tell someone you're going to call them at 4, call them at 4. If someone's expecting you to like hop on a Zoom at a certain time, I mean, show up. Show up. If you tell them that you're going to coach them, do it. There's a lot of people that enroll people and then they never talk to them again. You know, I mean, I thankfully, including Ryan's son, Preston, enrolled 6 people last week. So really 5 if we take Preston out of the new bundle equation. And every one of them got a message from me today setting up an unboxing call and the new associate interview. I want to go through it with you. I want to set up your goals. Let's go through the box, right? I mean, you've got to love on your people. You've got to support them. You've got to be there. If you say, I'm going to be here for you, and you don't respond to your messages or text messages, they're not going to trust you. You guys, Maria's on this call. She's a brand new consultant of mine. I met her years ago. She was my Uber driver. I told you, I talked to Uber drivers. She's an amazing mama, right? She came in with her 2 daughters. She texts me and I respond like that. She's motivated. She's talking to people. Like, people have got to trust you. So make sure you are following through with the things you say and you are not exaggerating. We're not covering things up. I mean, David Wood is the best about this in terms of like just modeling humility and being trustworthy. So the second one is don't make assumptions. And this is what's going to get really tough when you reach out to people. So Kari, you know, responded to Jamie Lynn's transformation today. And she's like, I want to know more about the bedtime belly buster. And I reach out to her and I'm like, hey, I'm so glad you commented on the post. I would love to talk to you about Jamie Lynn's transformation and how to help you. And when Kari doesn't respond to me, most of us are going to assume she wasn't that interested. She thinks I'm selling. I'm being pushy, right? She's annoyed. She already bought from somebody else. She went to Amazon. Like, do you guys agree that like all of these like things come up? And in reality, she's a mom of 2 little kids, then she's homeschooling full time, and she was busy and she probably saw it and was like, oh, I'll write her later, and life happened. And why Isogenics is on the forefront of my mind, it's not hers, right? She probably this morning, I love you, Kari, I know you've lost a lot of weight. I'm throwing in an example. Put on her pants, they were too tight. She saw my post and was like, oh, I'm gonna do that thing. And then got away with the day and just forgot about it. It's so easy to make assumptions. You know, it's so easy when you follow up with someone like, oh, I enrolled with somebody else, to be like, I suck at this, I'm really bad. Everybody else is really, who knows? You know what I mean? Like, I've been talking to people and they're like, oh, I just signed up with my friend in Hawaii. I don't know if they're sorority sisters, if that's her cousin, if they're best friends, like where they had that relationship. I mean, if a stranger was talking to me in the same week, Rachel reached out to me, who am I gonna like support? Of course I'm gonna support my sister. And so I just want you guys to remember that when someone returns, it doesn't mean you did a bad job as a coach, right? If someone returns, like they didn't use the products right and they weren't ready, and it has nothing to do with you. When people don't show up to the calls, it doesn't mean that they're not taking you seriously or they're not interested. It just means that Isogenics is not a priority in their life yet, and life happens. So I just encourage you to ask questions and don't assume the worst. Like, I had a girl that was super interested, and I used this grip that I learned from Zach and Eden. over the week, and I just said, I just want to make sure everything's okay. It's not like you to not respond. And I said, there's no pressure. If Isagenix isn't for you, that's okay. But it doesn't seem like your personality to totally ghost me, right? And she wrote back right away. She goes, you have no idea how bad I want to do this. And she's like, my husband and I are both not working right now. I don't know what to do. You know, and it's like, it was so easy for me to go down the path. I'm like, where'd she go? Like, we were ready to go. I had all the enrollment minus the credit card. We've all been down that path. And so I just want to really remind you guys, we don't know who's struggling. We don't know who's thriving. We don't know who's doing a good time in this, who's having a hard time, who has money, who doesn't have money, who has a savings, who doesn't, who has investment properties, who doesn't. We have no idea. You don't know these people's ins and outs. And even if people keep dark secrets, we all have skeletons in the closet, okay? So the third one is don't take anything personally. It kind of goes in line with that. Like, you don't want to assume what other people are doing, but you just got to shake it off, right? Like, I was on the phone with Alicia over the weekend because someone that she sponsored was immediately changed her mind. I said, it has nothing to do with you. She doesn't want to do shakes yet. Let her have Slim Fast and let her send it back. Who cares? Keep going, you know? And this is why sometimes it's good to have accountability partners. It's good to have a team of support to just kind of pour into you. But this is really, really, really important. You know, I've had people leave Isagenix and go to other companies. Do you know how easy it is to go down the path of like, you suck, you're bad at this, you're not good enough, our team isn't good enough, like we don't have the money to offer what other people do. I mean, all that nonsense. And I'm going to tee up to the last one here, but you can't take those things personally. We're not in control of what other people do, right? We're only in control of ourselves and how we handle other things. And I just really want to encourage you to remember that, you know, when people don't call you back, when they don't message you back, when they don't go with the right pack, like, don't take it personally. We are here to be the light to other people, always. We are here to show up for other people. And some of the people on this call that have known me for a really long time will tell you that this book has worked pivotally in my life. I would not have been like this 5 years ago. Like, if someone went to another team, I would be like, oh my God, that blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, it would have made me lose my total baskets. And today I'm like, fine, more space for somebody else. Like, you will grow as a person the more you do this. But the last one is to always do your best. And this is the hardest because comparison is the thief of joy. But my best is not Hayden Bapper's best, right? And Sherry's best is not Jewel's best. And Kathy's is not Elle's. And Amber's is not Ken's. Like, every one of us is unique. But here's what I'll tell you. When you lay down and you put your pillow down your head down on the pillow at the end of the night, right? When you look yourself in the mirror when you're getting ready, you ask yourself, did I do my best today? So I do the Peloton workouts and I'm competitive and I can be working my tail off and I'm like, you know, number 2,000 of like 5,000 people. I'm like, how can that many more people be kicking my butt? And I'm like at a 10.0 speed. And I'm like, man, these people must be going really fast. Like, it's so easy to get in our head. And then I'm like, you know what? A couple of months ago, I couldn't get above 8.0. And today I was at 11. Or I'm like, that's my best, right? Like, some people can lift heavier. Some people can run faster. Some people can enroll better. Some people can present better. But your best is your best. And then just hold yourself to that standard. So if you're showing up for a call late and you're unprepared and you're not paying attention, that's not your best. And don't be pissed off when your business shows you that reflection, because it's not your best. But if you're posting on social media with your best effort and you are connecting with a heart, right? And you're using the systems and you're doing your tools, it doesn't matter where your business is compared to anybody else. That is your very best. But if you're finding yourself in a situation where you're making a ton of excuses, at some point you have to hold yourself accountable. And the biggest shift that we're seeing in people's businesses right now is they're out of their comfort zone. And what was always inside of them is just absolutely like flourishing because they're really stepping up to their best. And I'm going to leave with this: is your best is your best, and it's not what anybody else wants for you, right? So there are times I've pushed people on this team because I wanted them to be a millionaire and I wanted them to max out, and they were like, I don't want that, Lauren. Like, that's cool if you do, I don't. I'm pretty cool with my 10 or 20 cycles a week. And that's their best because that's what they want, right? And that's fine. You guys all have this. If you want to be a millionaire and you're treating your business like a one-star habit, you got to work on some other things. You've got to change some other things. But I encourage you guys to read this. And when you're going through, you're connecting, right? When you're going through, back to what we started with this call, we're going to lead with the 11-day shred. We're going to, talk about the Fast and 5 detox. We're going to talk to moms. We're going to talk about our nurses, talk about the teachers, all these things. And you're doing your pre-framing. I honestly want you to hold yourself to these 4 standards as you connect. I encourage every single one of you to reach out to a minimum of 2 people tonight, right? It's only 7 o'clock California time. It's not even 8 o'clock here. I know the East Coast, it's getting close to 10, but we're not there yet. I mean, I encourage you right now, borrow my energy, reach out to people with love. And as the conversations come in, yes, the no's are a part of it, okay? You're gonna get no's, you're gonna get ghosted, there's gonna be people that don't respond to you, but just hold yourself accountable to these 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, don't take anything personally, and always do your best. So I love you guys. I'm so excited for where Isagenix is going. Have an amazing, amazing night, and we'll see you next week. So good to see all of you guys on.